On today's episode of the DeRaud-Messinger Show, we're previewing and predicting West Virginia versus Texas. Longhorns fans, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. It's greatly appreciated. So to begin doing, of course, game info. Everybody's got to know when and where the game is and the betting line. The game is Saturday, October 1st. Happy October to you all. At 6:30 p.m. Central Time. The game is at Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium in Austin, Texas. Dylan, that is a lot to say. And the game will be televised on Fox Sports 1 with the betting line being Texas currently favored by 9.5 points. So Dylan, what's your West Virginia scouting report?
Well, Devon, the major component of their team is going to be that offense. They're number 15 in team offense in the country, averaging about 42.8 points per game. And leading that charge is QB JT Daniels. Devon, I don't remember him, but he's a transfer from Georgia. He was replaced by Stetson Bennett as Georgia went on to win the College Football Playoff with his hot hand. But there's constant, remarks on if Daniels was going to get his job back, and ultimately that did not happen with Stetson Bennett playing so well. So obviously Daniels is now at West Virginia. He's got a great arm, football IQ. He's got the ability to read defenses as well and can make all the throws, but struggles under pressure. NFL comparisons, not that he's that kind of talent comparable to these guys, but Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, guys that if you throw blitz packages at them and they have to run around with their heads cut off, they're going to struggle more than they will with a clean pocket, which this West Virginia offensive line has been really good at protecting Daniels all year in the first 4 games. There are a few plays or ways that defenses can get to Daniels, and he struggled in those situations. But when he has a clean pocket, he can pick any team apart. So Texas is going to be needing to bring those blitz packages and really get to him to throw him off his game, because they're going to be starting off those short throws between the sticks. So Texas is going to need to get those 4 and outs quickly, early, so they can't be setting up, play actions down the line or just those deep throws to really go after Texas as they bring their safeties up to stop the run and those short passes. But speaking of the run, C.J. Donaldson, Devon, he's splitting carries with Tony Mathis, but he's been the more effective runner. He averages 7.3 yards per carry and is great after contact, can really take the top off of defense. This is the guy that Texas really needs to watch out for. If he gets going, he can cause a lot of problems. Texas struggled with getting off the field last week against Texas Tech, and that came from, Donovan Smith using his legs. Well, I'm thinking Donaldson, if he gets work in that passing game that West Virginia needs to start implementing into their offense if they want to really win this game here, he's a drive extender. Those 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 5s, if he needs to make a play, make a guy miss, this is the guy I'm worried about on the field. And another guy to worry about, the clear wide receiver 1, Bryce Ford Wheaton. He's 6'3", he's got 27 catches for 319 yards and 4 touchdowns. This guy can really make plays. He's going to be the go-to for Daniels, along with wide receiver 2, Caden Prather, who roams in the areas within the sticks. That's 1 yard to 9 yards, and then the intermediate throws are to slot man Sam James. And again, this offense is better than Texas Tech. They got better pass protection, and they're also good at run protection. So it's not going to be easy for this Texas defensive line as it was supposed to be against Tech. So that's something to watch out for. Their defense, it's the worst in the Big 12, though this is where Texas can really go after West Virginia. They allow 27.5 points per game and 98.3 rush yards per game. That's to a total of 302.8 total offense allowed per game. They got leading tackler, linebacker Lee Kapogba. But Devin, this linebacking core is a weak point for this West Virginia team. If Bijan Robinson can get past that teeth of the trenches, the defensive line led by defensive lineman Dante Stills, who's their highest graded run stopper up front, and I believe is a 5th-year senior, getting that extra COVID year. If he can get to that second level, if Bijan can get to that second level, this is a game where he can really show his ability, show why he's one of the best rushers in the league against this defense.
Dylan, why you got to steal every single player that I was going to talk about? It's just not fair. But just to reiterate on all those points, because we love making points, JT Daniels, I think Dylan talked about him being a Georgia transfer. Yes, Dylan, he cannot win against the mailman, Stetson Bennett. He always delivers in the big-time moments, and Georgia now has a championship because of that. But as you said, just to list off really quick, at wide receiver, you got Bryce Ford Wheaton, the main target there. Dylan talked about it, for receiving touchdowns so far. 6'3", not too shabby, not too shabby. And then Caden Prather. Dylan, you mentioned the name, but you forgot this a little tidbit. He's 6'4", so Daniels has two pretty sizable threats outside. And then also you got Sam James, as you mentioned, as a third leading receiver. And then running back Donaldson, as you mentioned, he's a young guy, but Dylan, he's a freshman making plays. However, so far this season, he has not been a threat in the receiving game at all, so that's something to watch out for Texas, whether they're able to stack the box or West Virginia Neil Brown, throw some sort of a rabbit out of the hat, but not too sure there. He's a young guy. I don't want to throw too much his way yet. But then, as you also mentioned, they have the redshirt sophomore Tony Mathis Jr. in the backfield as well for them. But Dylan, I just wanted to skip ahead to the point. Dante Stills, fifth-year senior. We call that the Perry Ellis year. Just a guy that never graduates. We love those guys. We embrace them. We welcome them back to the team year after year. But he's still making plays. I think his brother went to the NFL already a year or two ago. I don't know what he's up to now, but just a side note. And, Stills leading the team with 2.5 sacks. And as you mentioned, Lee Kapogba at linebacker is leading the team in tackles with 24. Now, Dylan, I don't know where they are in the whole scheme of things in the Big 12. I know you're talking about defenses and rankings. But in terms of yards per game, I believe they're the 23rd best in the country currently, which might need to fact check there. But that was from the NCAA website, so I'm going to let them be. But also, the points per game could be slightly deceiving, just given the fact I believe they went to OT against Kansas. But still, you guys just heard that they went to OT against Kansas. Probably not the best indicator. However, if you've been watching football this season, you know that Kansas is 4-0. So maybe a different Kansas team. We don't want to even get ahead of that, and think about the last year's game. I just think I had a mini PTSD moment. But Dylan, I'm gonna let you go ahead and take it off for X factors.
Devin, what world are we living in with Kansas at the top of the Big 12 in football and West Virginia, Texas at the very bottom?
And Kansas State too is up there,
Yeah, after that big win against Oklahoma, I feel like that softened the blow of Tech winning last week over Texas. It's nice to see Oklahoma lose too, but still, the pain still, there's still some salt in there, still some pain. But Devin, X factors, it's going to be those linebackers for that West Virginia team, as well as the safeties. That second to third level of that defense is going to have a lot of work ahead of them. Do you have any updates on Ewers though, Devin? Is he playing or is it Cardigan?
Yeah, I'd love to have an update, Dylan.
Yeah.
I can't say for certain one way or the other. I feel like if I was the coach and Ewers was good to go, I'd want to put him in just because, the following weekend against Oklahoma, you don't want to look ahead to games, but if he's healthy, you definitely want him to get some snaps beforehand. So it's still TBD.
Yeah, and Sark's like to keep things under wrap. That's for sure. Hasn't been one to speak out unless he has to. So it's quite possible that Ewers just does a WWE entrance before the game. Devin just walks out.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, with all the pads on, with the
get
flow
some Stone
going.
Cold Steve Austin out there.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, probably can't have the beers in his hands, but
Gatorade.
Yeah, just 2 footballs or something. But yeah, Hudson Card did look good last week. There's definitely aspects of Ewers' game that I trust more than Card, like maybe closing the game out, but that can also, fall in coaching, but that's for a different video. But this is going to be tough on those linebackers for West Virginia because they're going to have to be stopping Bijan Robinson, which is going to be the main focus of this game. Devin, I'm expecting a big game from Bijan. I feel like if this program is turning around, Bijan's going to be the one to take this game into his hands and win this one for Texas. Got to have that Heisman moment. I know we've talked about it, but to close out these games, that rushing attack's got to be solid. Hopefully he's got more than 16 carries this week. Possibly hoping to see, pushing 25 carries to really, put the hammer down on West Virginia this week. That's why if West Virginia's going to win this game, that linebacking core led by Lee Kapogba that we've touched on earlier, Devin, is their leading tackler, as well as cornerback Marcus Floyd. He leads the team in pass deflections and the second leading tackler. They're going to have a big game ahead of them. They're going to have to shut that down, force Hudson Card to make some throws, into coverage and shut down his ability to run, and extend drives. Those, 3rd and 10s where he just takes off and gets the first down for Texas. So West Virginia's going to have to stop that.
My X factor, Dylan. Yet again, I seem to always cheat here, but I'm cheating especially big here. I just went with mood slash attitude slash energy. I mean, if you watch the game against Texas Tech, numbers wise, Dylan, the stats, if you just were to look at the box score, did not look unimpressive for Longhorns. You would have thought that maybe they got to a nice, decent victory there, but they obviously did not. But if you're watching the game in its entirety and actuality, you saw that you just didn't feel good about the team. It wasn't, I put in my notes, a stomping on throats type of vibe. You need some killers on the team. The team needs to learn how to win, Dylan. As you said, when you're up 2 scores in the second half, you need to be in the Alabama, just killing teams mentality. Can they get a hold of that, which seems to have been, elusive for so many years? And then also, in addition to that, still going with the headspace and mentality here, is there a little bit of a hangover after the Tech loss? And is there a little bit too much looking forward to the Oklahoma game next weekend, the following weekend? That's something we'll see. And as you said, is Ewers back? Ewers seems to, he's only had a small sample size, but seems to be able to get through those reads a little bit better than Card, Dylan. But Card, as you did mention, has a little more wheels, obviously. So Card's put that to use, even though he's got, basically one ankle, it seems like, out there. There's plus and minus, but obviously Ewers is QB1 for a reason. But we'll see if he's back. Card's been doing his job, though, Dylan. You can't really fault him. He had 1 interception against Tech. But other than that, he was being a, decent game manager. I think the play calling got a little conservative, but I'm not going to critique right now on this video. That's for another video we got coming. But Dylan, what are you feeling about the danger level?
Well, I'm going on a streak here, Devon, of a danger level of 8. I know I did the same thing with Texas Tech. I just feel like I don't have a lot of confidence in closing out this game. I could totally see Texas getting out to, 2-touchdown lead, 10-point lead, and then West Virginia just climbs back with some Daniel throws and a defense that just lets them back into the game, as well as an offense like Devon you just talked about with the conservative play calling. There's just a lot of times where it was like, why are we running the ball on not running the ball, sorry, passing it on 2nd and 8 when we needed, or on that clock, there was I think it was 3 drives in the 4th quarter of last week's game, Devon, for Texas that they only had the ball for 55 seconds. On those key drives when you're up 7 points with 9 minutes left in the 4th, you should not be, only draining the clock a minute. You need that. Those are those important drives where you go down the field, get a field goal or a touchdown, and it takes you 5 to 6 minutes, and you're giving the ball back to the other team, and there's nothing there for them. And I don't trust that in this situation for Texas right now until they prove it. So again, key notes for why I'm having this as a danger level of an 8, Devon. Do I trust the coaching staff to close out the game right now? Running the clock out, not really at the moment. Passing short yards to go at the linebackers of West Virginia, that's something that they're going to have to do, Texas is. We have to dial up blitzes against Daniels. So I just, again, if they give Daniels time, he can pick apart this defense, and there's just no trust. I do expect him to win this game, but I definitely don't have any confidence.
Yeah, no money on this one for sure. Danger level for me, I have a 6. I don't remember what I gave Tech. I think it was a 5 or a 6. But I noted that West Virginia Dylan appear to be a great looking team. I don't think that's an overstatement. Yet again, Kansas is 4-0. Not going to be mean to Kansas, but they did lose to Kansas in OT. But I also made sure to note that Texas also doesn't look like a great team, especially if you watch the Tech game. So we're going to have to see. It's been a tale of, 2 squads, even though the one squad that people want to see is still the squad that lost to Alabama. Now, Dylan, we were still impressed with the game, don't get us wrong, but you have to close out games like that, as Dylan was mentioning, when you get in that position. And then a danger level of 6. I talked already about a little bit of a Tech hangover / looking forward to Oklahoma, so that aids in a little bit, even though the Longhorns have the home game. But then again, Dylan, if they lose this weekend, the chances of losing 3 in a row are pretty high. I hate to say it, Longhorns fans, to an ranked Oklahoma team. Yes, they lost to K-State, but K-State, Dylan, sneaky favorite, looks like, in the Big 12 possibly. So, not going to get ahead of myself there. Deuce Vaughn, Mini-Me's out there just killing people. But prediction, Dylan. I heard you hinted at it. What's your score here?
Yeah, I got Texas winning 41-35 over West Virginia. Devon. Keys to that, I do believe Bijan's going to have a big game. You'd like to see him get about 25 carries and more, especially when they're up. I feel like the ball just needs to be in his hands more, utilized more in the passing game as well. Just if you've got, if he's your best player, get him the ball and good things can happen. I feel like Texas got away from that last week, and hopefully they see that on the film and come back to it and make sure, to utilize an all-star on their team.
Yeah, and did you hear about Bijan carrying the football across campus? I think on Monday, Dylan.
I did not.
So obviously he had a big fumble in OT and very upset about it. Apparently, I think Tashard Choice, the running backs coach, gave him a football to carry across campus like they do in the movies, and teammates and apparently one student tried to knock it out because he was carrying around school all day. I just love that though. I mean, obviously he's taking it to heart, and we'll see if he takes it out against West Virginia. I have Texas winning also. I kind of went low score here, so I don't really know Dylan anymore. Sometimes when I predict the high scores, they half it, and then other times they double it. I got Texas winning against West Virginia, 34-31. And speaking of I don't know, I just said I don't know. Who knows with this team anymore? Are they going to play like they did against Tech, or are they going to start playing mad and actually, like I said, quote, stomp on some throats? Dylan, some stomping is in order, but will they actually fulfill the order? I don't know. But what do you guys think about West Virginia and Texas? What's your final game score? Let us know down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, have a great rest of your day.